When you look at an architectural floor plan, you probably think you get it, right? You see the rooms, the doors, the windows. But that's really only half the story. A flat drawing is just the beginning of understanding how a space truly lives and breathes. See, the core issue is that a standard blueprint is, well, flat. It's a static snapshot. It's a set of instructions for a builder, not a guide for how you're actually supposed to live in a place. So you gotta ask, right? When you're looking at those lines on a page, what's missing? What secrets is the building holding back that the blueprint just can't reveal? A blueprint shows you geometry, sure, but it can't show you the feeling of morning sunlight hitting the kitchen counter. It can't tell you where a crowd is going to bunch up during a party. It can't quantify comfort, It's missing the life of the building. But what if we could bridge that gap? What if we could take that static document and just animate it? What if we could ask it questions about warmth and flow and life and actually get answers? And this is the big idea right here. The source material for this explainer is all about a simulator that does exactly that. It transforms a simple floor plan PDF into a powerful, data-rich tool you can interact with, test, and actually learn from. And listen, this isn't just some theoretical concept. The documentation we're digging into is for a real-world application. It was built from the floor plan of the Northview condominium in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So we're looking at a specific tool built for a very specific place. So how does this magic trick work? How do you give life to a flat document? Well, the secret sauce, as it often is in the data. But it's about what data you have and what data you have to intelligently guess. Get this, the entire simulation, the whole shebang, is powered by just 17 key parameters. That's it. That's the secret recipe that defines this whole virtual world. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Those 17 parameters aren't all created equal. A few of them are hard facts, pulled directly from the document. That's the extracted data. The vast majority, though, they're educated guesses needed to make the physics work. And that's the assumed data. So here's a perfect example of extracted data. The floor plan explicitly states the ceiling height is 9.3 plus, which the model interprets as 9.25 feet. That's a hard fact, a non-negotiable number pulled right from the source. No guesswork there. And then you have the other side of the coin. The blueprint doesn't say anything about how light behaves, right? So the simulator has to assume a value for something called window light decay, basically a number that dictates how quickly sunlight fades as you move deeper into a room. It's a reasonable guess, and it's what makes the simulation possible. Okay, so we've got our 17 parameters. Some are facts, some are smart guesses. Now, the real power emerges. We can do more than just build one model. We can start asking some seriously powerful what-if questions. And this, right here, is the payoff. The simulator becomes an experimental sandbox. You can tweak any of those 17 numbers and see how the entire system reacts. You're no longer just looking at a building. You're playing with the physics of the space. For example, we know the actual ceiling is 9.25 feet, but what if it were a standard 8-foot one? The simulator can run both scenarios side by side, generating data and these heat maps to show you the tangible difference in light distribution and even thermal comfort. Suddenly, a design choice becomes a quantifiable metric. And it's not just about physical properties. You can also simulate human behavior. You can max out the occupancy for every room to simulate a party and see where people get stuck. You can identify exactly which doorways are going to become total bottlenecks. To run that stress test, the simulation changes the standard 3-foot doorway parameter down to a narrower 2.5 feet. By changing just that one number, you can see how the circulation flow for the entire apartment changes, pinpointing a potential design flaw. So this is obviously an incredibly powerful tool. But, with great power comes great responsibility. And the final, maybe most important part of this story is understanding what this tool is and what it isn't. If you're an architecture student, this is fantastic. It's a way to get your hands dirty, to intuitively grasp how a decision like ceiling height actually impacts the feel of a space. It moves you beyond textbook theory and into practical simulation. For a real estate developer, the value is much more direct. This tool provides hard numbers to justify design choices, identify potential problems with a layout before it's ever built, and spot underutilized space that could be redesigned for better value. And for a sustainability consultant, it's a game changer. You can use it to precisely quantify things like passive solar gain through windows, which helps you advise on energy efficiency and better, more sustainable designs. But, and this is a really big but, the documentation is very clear about this. This is an early version, automatically generated tool. It's designed to help experts ask better questions and explore possibilities. It is not designed to give you final, definitive answers. And the reason for that caution comes down to this key term, synthetic data. The heat maps, the flowcharts, the numbers, they aren't real-world measurements. They're computationally generated artifacts, inspired by the floor plan, designed to illustrate what could happen. The documentation ends with a powerful disclaimer, and it's a crucial final point. Because this is AI-generated, the outputs must be independently verified before being used in any real-world decision. It leaves us with a vital question. As these incredible modeling tools evolve, how do we best balance their power with our own expert judgment?